Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Saffron Honey Chai. My God. You know, when K-pop Demon Hunters first came out in August, I was like, well, this is a pretty nice, pretty good movie. I'm glad we're all enjoying it together. And I thought, just like every other Netflix original, that it was going to die quietly and never be mentioned again until eventually there was a licensing issue and it, for some reason, came off the platform, even though it was made specifically for Netflix. You know how that goes. And yet, somehow, magically almost, months later, they've had not one, but two theatrical sing along releases. And it stayed at the top of the charts on and off for the same amount of time. For months, it's been at the top of the Netflix movie charts. If not top five, then number one altogether. And I'm finding myself really impressed by that because for so long, it's been so easy to get into a property that Netflix has put forth, only for them to mindlessly and shamelessly fumble the bag in every conceivable way. Huge active audience, by the way. People love it dearly, desperately. And somehow, they were able to give up on failing spectacularly to actually, for once, have passion for the project and make it work. Oh my God. I am surprisingly impressed. Now granted, that is because of, you know, Sony. Sony Animation does not play when it comes to their properties. They make really good animation and they have a really dedicated storyline. So I'm not going against them in any way, shape, or form by doing my little Netflix drag at the beginning. Because a lot of times they always fumble the bag. But I feel, at least in this instance, because of course I don't have access to contracts, I don't know what kind of conversations we had. But I feel like this time it was just a perfect storm of actually factually legitimately good storytelling and just the right place at the right time because K-pop, K-pop's real popular right now. People love it. And people have been loving it on and off for a while, but and not to be like back in my day, but back in my day, you were still a little weird if you like K-pop. It was like, you don't even understand the music. Okay. I also didn't understand some of the music when some of the actual American singers were singing. You guys ever heard the Edward Pattison? Not Edward Pattison, Rob Pattison. He was Edward in Twilight. Sorry about that. The Rob Pattison music when he was like, I I would be listening to it completely unintelligible, and then I'd have to look at the lyrics and say, "Oh, that's what he was saying." And now my ear can pick up on what he's saying. So to me, it didn't make any difference. Oh, I can't understand it. And if the beat is good and the vocals are good, why not enjoy? Plus, you seem so cultured when you say, "Oh, I like Korean music." Oh, you like Korean music? How impressive. My God. And I live in New York, so everything's so metropolitan and cultured if you know things like that, or if you're into things like that. But now times have really, really changed, so we get to truly enjoy K-pop. Now you can go to a regular store and get a vinyl album of BTS. Y- You can get a custom pack from your local Target. Oh my, oh my God. Back in the day, you had to go to Koreatown and find the place that's selling it. Or if you were lucky enough or knew somebody, you had to go get your flight to Korea to do your shopping. Or if you guys really want to date this, talk to somebody on Facebook Messenger before there was a dedicated Facebook Messenger app and say, "Hey, you got any you got any Girls' Generation albums?" And hope to God that they weren't going to scam you. So I feel so happy that we finally reached a point of legitimacy where it's like, okay, not only can you actually enjoy K-pop, but you can fully engage in it without having to save up a crazy amount of money or travel internationally just for the raw perk of being able to actually engage with your fandom properly. You can order your light stick online on eBay now and not have to enter a crazy bidding war. Although, if it's limited edition, of course you must. However, I do think that what draws people to this movie is sort of like the Frozen effect. That's what I like to call it. So when Frozen came out and it became a popular cultural sensation with similar sing-along movie nights in theaters and then constant theatrical releases and Let It Go topping the charts over and over and over again, that was just people really, really latching on to that idea of reclaiming your identity and, letting stressful things fall off of you. Because Shake It Off by Taylor Swift was also really popular at that time. And it was just a perfect storm everywhere around the world. They were like, yes, we must let go of our burdens. We must release the pain of our soul. This is how we reclaim our lives. This is how we're going to be happy again. We must let it go. We cannot hold back who we are anymore. That's basically the vibe. Now, was it horrible and annoying for me? Yes. I was not the biggest Frozen fan. Frozen 2 was much better. This is my personal opinion. You can fight about it if you want to. You're fighting yourself, though. But K-pop Demon Hunters is a little bit different in that there's several things at play here. First and foremost, the issue of identity is very strong in this movie. Not just for Rumi, who's the lead singer, but for everybody. For Rumi and for Mira and for Zoe. They all have some sort of identity issue at play. For Zoe, I think she's mixed. I don't know. And, that's always a great well to pull from. Oh, she's mixed. She's caught between two worlds. She's from here and from there. Very difficult. Mira, her parents were rich, but didn't care about her. Like they wanted her to fit into this small box. So she had to figure out, how do I break out of this box, still be myself, but also make peace with losing that? Because it's very hard to walk away from your family, regardless of how cool and, chill the person is about it. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot my family. Yeah, that's actually hard. That's very hard to do, especially in a country like Korea that is so strong on filial piety. Yeah, no, that was years of therapy and probably international therapy because I've heard that you can get snitched on real easily in country. And then, of course, our dear Rumi, who has constantly had to hide her identity and who she is in such a state of shame and sadness simply because of circumstances outside of her control. She just so happened to be half demon. And, I don't know. What if he was hot? That's not her fault that her mom saw a hot guy, said, I could pull that, and then pulled. That's not her fault. That shouldn't be a point of shame for anyone. If you see someone and you like them and you think, oh, let's do this, there should be no shame for your kid as long as everyone's of age and consenting and just real chill about the whole interaction. That shouldn't be an issue. But of course, because the mom was a demon hunter and somehow died as a result of their pairing, I don't really understand that part because she did die likely in Rumi's childhood or when Rumi was born, like somewhere around that. So, how did she die? Did she die because of like a birth issue, or did she die by virtue of the dad being a demon, or did the dad kill her, or, and this is my personal theory, or did the foster mom kill her? I always felt like she was a little too nefarious. I felt like, okay, you're doing too much Mother Gothel stuff with this hair brushing, and you have to hide everything. You can't reveal who you are. I've always felt a little bit uncomfortable about that. I thought she was a bit odd with that because after a certain point, it's hard for you to say stuff like that to a child and not have it come off as like emotional, psychological, or spiritual abuse. It's like, no, you have to hide this part of yourself. Now, granted, I understand if she's trying to protect her. Like, oh, I mean, you can't let other demon hunters know that you're half demon because, like, what if they kill you? That's one thing. But she had her hide her identity from the people she's supposed to be closest to, the people she's fighting with. They were fighting with each other. They're working hard to protect the world together. They're brothers slash sisters in arms. And you're trying to say that she can't be honest about who she is with the people who are risking her life, risking their lives for her, and she's risking her life for them? She has to lie to those people? Okay, you're pissing me off. You're pissing me off. Because what are you talking about? If you are supposed to be a cohesive unit, there's no way you can have that kind of secret. Because, when the show starts, or rather the movie starts, we can see the cracks have already been there. They've already been there. Things that were supposed to be bonding experiences for them, things that were supposed to be opportunities for them to get closer, instead became the source of the fissures that would eventually crack them apart. And that all came from the foster mama, just whispering in her ear, like, no, we have to keep this a secret until we can heal you of this evil affliction. The evil affliction of being mixed, by the way. Granted, the dad's a demon, but like, we don't know if he was an evil demon, because when we see them in the movie, as I said before, some of them are just there. They're just demons. They're not actually like killing people or hurting anyone. They just exist. They just exist. Like, a lot of them, they're just standing there in the crowd like, yeah, I'm in the crowd. Woo, I've never done anything. I'm not too sure about this soul stuff. Because the only person, or rather demon, that we see interact with souls directly in the form of consuming souls is Gima. No one else does that. No one else directly is killing humans for their own benefit. It's all Gima pulling the souls in. Now, granted, the Saja boys were helping, and the other demons do help by scaring them half to death. And of course, then Gima comes in like, good soup. But aside from that, most of these guys are just out there wandering. Even the other Saja boys, they were all shambling, drooling masses without what's his name? Oh my god, what is his name? Genu. Without Genu stepping in to be like, oh god, what am I supposed to do with you guys? Look at you. Close your mouth. You're drooling. If it weren't for Genu and his little idea, nothing would have happened. Like, it would have been just more of the same of them slipping into the world and doing whatever shenanigans, and then that's it. Because if it was something that was happening all the time, Gima couldn't be the main guy. He couldn't be the head of anything. It would just be like, oh yeah, it's a big power struggle. It's a big war. But it's very clear that it all comes from this one being. One being. I know I put two, but this one being. And it really makes me wonder, like, was there some sort of power struggle in the past that led to that breakdown? What happened there? How did Gima become the number one in the whole demon landscape as opposed to everybody else? And how does he still have the power to interact with / affect the Hanmoon? Like, how are they able to come up from underground in what seems to be Joseon Dynasty hell into the rest of the world? Hopefully these are all answered in the sequel or the upcoming short film that was revealed because of the MPAA rating that came out. But hopefully things will soon be revealed. I do also want to touch on the fact that the movie shows a very idealized version of the K-pop industry. And I think that's something super important to touch on, simply because I don't know how long many of you K-pop demon hunters have been actually engaging with the K-pop industry, watching things happen. But it's not all it's not all light and cheerful like the movie made it seem. Like, just the fan meeting alone, having a mixed gender fan meeting and they're sitting together. Now, granted, are there shippers? Yes. Are there people out there who ship two different people, male and female, from, or now even same gender, from the different bands or from one band? Yes, 110%. But in that same vein, there's a lot of people who get very, very, very insanely angry about their bias even talking to someone of a separate gender, to the point where there's non-dating clauses. There's non-dating clauses if you become an idol. You can't date anyone. You can't have sex with anyone. You can't get caught being too close to someone of an opposite gender. So Rumi and Genu sitting there, instant hate from netizens. What is she doing? That's disgusting. That's supposed to be her hube. And look at her. She's trying to seduce him, blah, blah, blah. You say, oh, that's crazy. I've seen it all, my love. I've seen it all. There's no way they could have last minute canceled a concert just because what? Oh, I just wasn't feeling up to it. After the people bought their tickets, no, you could not do that without getting actual factual death threats, international death threats at that. This isn't even touching directly on like in actual Korea. I'm talking international. People bought flights. They bought flights. They paid for hotels, and you canceled. And it's like my girls will perform when they're ready. Nope. It's like you need to go out there and lip sync for your life. We will turn off your mic, but you need to make this look like it's working. And then, oh my God. Just, first and foremost, I don't know. Uh, ooh, do I dare say this? But a girl group being that successful and like, of course, the girl groups are successful. Stand twice for clear skin, da da da, all that. But we've all seen the way they downplay the girl groups and uplift the boy groups and bring out like 6 more boy groups. How many more NCTs are there gonna be? Huh? How many more NCTs do we need? Now, granted, I'll take 1,000 of them. Fine, whatever. But damn, so many groups I've seen die just because they're like, well, we have to bring out another NCT this year. We have to bring out another boy group. We have to debut another guy group. We need it. It's important. I used to be a Miyu, okay? I used to love FX. And I waited years and years for them to actually give them actual factual play. But it took so long for them to give them any kind of understanding or care or consideration to promote them in any way, shape, or form that one of them left the band and another one died. That's how little care they applied to girl groups. So no, I don't really see it as realistic. I do see it as very idealized though. I see it as something that perhaps we're hoping for. We're hoping for a more healthy, comfortable K-pop industry where artists can go out and collaborate with other artists and have a good time and, really do something great. And I like also the aspect of the Hanmoon and how it draws on the power for the fans, or rather from the fans for the fans, because if you've ever been to a concert, you know that energy is electric. It feels amazing in there when you're just like listening to the music and you're dancing with the people around you. You're like, ooh, this is great. I, if you could bottle that and sell it, they'd call you a drug dealer. I'm telling you right here and now that they would call you a drug dealer immediately if you could bottle the feeling of being at a concert. But they found a way to translate that feeling into a visual. So not only is it like a great experience for you when you're there, but it's also an amazing experience afterwards. It changes the way you look at the world around you. It changes everything for you. You just feel so much more alive and at peace and just the joy you feel when you're constantly going to live music performances is unreal. Oh my God. Just the thought of it, I'm getting goosebumps. It's been a long time since I've been to a concert, though. Now, do I know how much longer this hype will last? No, hopefully forever, because it's not overly annoying where, like, every time you turn on the radio, it's like, "We're going up." No, 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 it's not like that. I've heard it maybe twice in, like, public places, that weren't Korean related, like K-beauty stores or actual K-pop shops or anything like that. I've only heard it like 2 or 3 times in the wild. So, it's not the same as the Frozen mania that assaulted the world all those years ago and made me want to shove my head against the wall over and over again. I know, it's not that bad. But it is good and it's great to me because the community that I'm seeing come up after this is so, I don't wanna say nice because every fandom has its problems, but it's just so beautiful to see the way everyone's supporting not only the film, but the actors, because I'm not sure if you guys knew it, but the lead singer who does the singing for Rumi, she had like some sort of vocal incident and it was kind of dangerous for her to perform. And everyone was very supportive that I've seen online about her taking that time and everyone taking the time to wait for her to recover and for them changing the key so it would be healthier for her vocally to sing it live. And people have been extremely, extremely understanding and kind about that. And I love that. I love this culture of kindness and understanding that I'm seeing this film not only encouraging, but also embodying a culture of kindness, of understanding, of working together. I love it. It makes me so like obscenely happy. I'm so looking forward to seeing more of this franchise and more of everyone interacting with the franchise because you guys are so cute going out there to sing along, buying tickets for your siblings so you can all go sing in the theater, or if you have never seen it, for you to sit there in the theater and watch them sing, like, "Yep, you better sing, I bought these tickets." I I can't wait. I can't wait. And who knows, maybe I will buy a ticket too and be in there singing. I would love it. It makes me happy. This movie makes me happy, and I'll probably watch it a couple more times. But with that, I fear I've said all I need to say about this. I'm so happy to see it performing well, and I look forward to seeing what comes next and seeing it with all of you. Have a great day and enjoy. Stream the movie for Clear Skin, babe. Till next time.